Tom Cruise lives, dies, and repeats in the sci-fi war film Edge of Tomorrow. But once the dust has settled, the final moments are a bit confusing. This is what really goes down at the end of the 2014 time loop thriller. Audiences have seen Tom Cruise risk life and limb for his movies time and time again, whether he's climbing the tallest building in the world or battling G-forces in a military jet. But as unkillable as Cruise seems to be in real life, he's got nothing on his character from Edge of Tomorrow. Directed by Doug Liman, this loose adaptation of the Japanese novel All You Need Is Kill takes place in an alternate 2020 that's somehow worse than the actual one. An army of aliens known as mimics have crash-landed in Germany and quickly conquered much of Europe. Cruise stars as Major William Cage, a selfish PR officer with no real combat experience who's demoted and forced to participate in an invasion against the mimics. When he gets covered in the blood of an unusually large mimic and killed, that should be lights out for Cage, but instead, he wakes up at the beginning of the day. Confounded about the time loop he's become stuck in, Cage gets some clarity from Sergeant Rita Vertasky, a war hero who was formerly stuck in her own mimic-induced time loop.
What day is it?
For you, Judgment Day.
For the most part, Edge of Tomorrow is pretty consistent in the way it lays out the story's rules for time travel, at least until you get to the movie's somewhat baffling ending. As Cage soon learns, the larger mimics are known as alphas and exist as part of a superorganism controlled by the Omega. The Omega resets the day whenever an alpha is killed in combat, allowing the mimics to keep refighting the same battle until they win. Rita, like Cage, discovered this after being exposed to an alpha's blood, allowing her to tap into the Omega's power until she got a blood transfusion. Much of Edge of Tomorrow consists of repeated scenes of Cage training at the military base and trying to find the Omega with Rita. This means that he has to die over and over again, giving him the chance to learn from his mistakes, like he's stuck on a tough level in a video game. Along the way, Cage grows more selfless and empathetic, a lot like Bill Murray's uncaring weatherman Phil Connors did in the classic time loop comedy Groundhog Day. Eventually, Cage and Rita do locate the Omega, only for Cage to lose his time travel abilities after he suffers a severe injury and receives a life-saving blood transfusion before he can reset the day. As such, Cage seems to die permanently while sacrificing his life to kill the Omega before unexpectedly making contact with the creature's blood, sending him back not 1, but 2 days. In this new reality, Cage was never demoted, and humanity is winning the war against the mimics. While critics and audiences mostly liked Edge of Tomorrow when it first came out, its ending left many perplexed, especially how it seems to break its own rules about time loops. As co-writer Christopher McQuarrie explained, the original plan was to end the movie on a darker note, but as the film evolved and began to play up the comedy of Cage getting killed time and time again, those plans had to change with it. As he noted to Film School Rejects, "We really struggled to deliver what the movie needed to be emotionally. I know the ending was somewhat controversial with some people who didn't like it, but I think the only way to make those people happy would be to end the movie in a way that wasn't happy. We weren't interested in doing that. It needed to end in a way that wasn't harsh." Shaky logic aside, the ending is a satisfying conclusion to Cage's character arc. At the start of Edge of Tomorrow, Cruise's character hasn't actually done much to earn respect, but as soldiers snap to attention in the movie's last scene, it feels like he actually deserves it. What's more, Cage is so happy to see Rita alive that he doesn't care that she no longer remembers him or his actions. After his many deaths, he's more concerned about people beyond himself and less fixated on personal glory. Interestingly enough, McQuarrie has said that Edge of Tomorrow 2 will clear up all the questions about the first movie's ending, if it ever happens. The sequel has been in the pipeline since 2015 based on an idea that Cruise pitched to McQuarrie. Several rewrites later, the script is now apparently done, with Cruise, Blunt, and Liman all ready to return as soon as Warner Brothers gives the green light. Therein lies the problem. Edge of Tomorrow grossed $370.5 million at the box office against a $178 million budget, enough to make it profitable but nowhere near enough to guarantee a sequel. It doesn't help that Cruise and McQuarrie are still buried deep in the world of Mission Impossible, not to mention the fact that Cruise and Liman are apparently planning to shoot a movie in outer space at some point. Emily Blunt has admitted that scheduling is a big reason Edge of Tomorrow 2 keeps getting postponed. The other factor, obviously, is the budget. It's not likely we'll see a sequel in theaters anytime soon, and unless everyone involved agrees to take a hefty pay cut, the odds are against Warner Brothers greenlighting Edge of Tomorrow 2 as a Max exclusive. For now, the story of William Cage, Rita Vertasky, and the Mimic Invasion seems to have come to an end.
What do we do now?
I don't know. We've never gotten this far.